Good morning. It's Ayya Vimala here on a beautiful day, and hope your day or evening is pleasant, comfortable for you. This morning, Friday, May the 14th, I wanted to read something from, it's a small book of the Buddha's teachings, the Itivuttaka, the Buddha's sayings. And it's a small book. It's part of the Tipitaka. This is a translation by John Ireland. And it's broken down into the section of the ones and the twos and the threes and the fours. And there is a teaching in here on loving kindness in the section of the ones. And I think any teaching, anything we can read about loving kindness and letting it help us with our own practice of loving kindness is a wonderful thing to be doing, because when you see what's going on in the world, I understand that it is the way of samsara, but when we just are barely crawling out from under this worldwide pandemic, and which is not over, and we see the kind of violence erupting in the world and in different parts of the world, it can be very disillusioning. It can be it's very shocking. It's like, didn't we learn anything from seeing the virus kill so many people and still killing people? And then we see violence erupting where it's created because of greed primarily, and political ambitions and nationalism and arguments between people that are thousands of years old. It just drives home that we have to focus in our own lives on metta, on loving kindness. We can't let something else be more important than that. Whether it's what we think of as feeling protective, or feeling that we have something to lose if we don't go against the other. But we have to, I think, consistently and constantly be working on our own metta practice, because otherwise it's so much easier to just get lost in the way of the world. So I'd like to read this. This is in the beginning of this. It's a very small book of little suttas, and it's the English translation. I don't think the Pali is even in here, but they're very lovely. The development of loving kindness. This was said by the Lord Buddha. Bhikkhus, whatever grounds there are for making merit productive of a future birth, all these do not equal a 16th part of the mind release of loving kindness. The mind release of loving kindness, the mind release of loving kindness surpasses them and shines forth bright and brilliant. Just as the radiance of all the stars does not equal a 16th part of the moon's radius, but the moon's radiance surpasses them and shines forth bright and brilliant, even so, whatever grounds there are for making merit productive of a future birth, all these do not equal a 16th part of the mind release of loving kindness. Just as in the last month of the rainy season in the autumn, when the sky is clear and free of clouds, the sun on ascending dispels the darkness of space and shines forth bright and brilliant, even so, whatever grounds there are for making merit productive of a future birth, all these do not equal a 16th part of the mind release of loving kindness. And just as in the night and at the moment of dawn, the morning star shines forth bright and brilliant, even so, whatever grounds there are for making merit productive of a future birth, all these do not equal a 16th part of the mind release of loving kindness. The mind release of loving kindness surpasses them and shines forth bright and brilliant. For one who mindfully develops boundless loving kindness, seeing the destruction of clinging, the fetters are worn away. If with an uncorrupted mind, one pervades just one being with loving, kindly thoughts, one makes some merit through that. But a noble one produces an abundance of merit by having a compassionate mind toward all living beings. Those royal seers who conquered the earth crowded with beings went about making offerings, the horse sacrifice, the man sacrifice, the water rites, the soma sacrifice, and that called the unobstructed. But these do not share even a 16th part of a mind well cultivated in loving, kindly thoughts, just as the entire starry host is dimmed by the moon's radiance. One who does not kill, nor causes others to kill, who does not conquer, nor cause others to conquer, kindly towards all beings, this one has enmity for none. This too is the meaning of what was said by the Lord Buddha, so I heard. I love the last part, one who does not kill nor cause others to kill, who does not conquer nor cause others to conquer. And what we're seeing in the world is just, it just seems more shocking than usual after and during the pandemic. It's like people just couldn't wait to have a little bit of space to think that things were getting better before we go right back into our old habits. So I just wanted to read that because I think it's so beautiful. And, you know, you can find so many teachers teaching so specifically on loving kindness. And that is the practice, and it includes, we always have to include ourselves in it. So we begin by learning how to love ourselves. And as we're learning that and practicing that, we're also extending it out to others. And it's a boundless quality. So there's no end to it. It doesn't mean just to ourselves and our immediate family. And it doesn't mean just to our country. I think nationalism is a danger. So I think we should apply it to things like taking the vaccine. We do that out of loving kindness towards ourselves and towards others. And the way we talk, just to others in our family. And just the way we project ourselves out into the world. And then in the way we're thinking all the time. So it's a wonderful practice, because if we're really practicing loving kindness, it really wakes up our mindfulness, because we can become more and more aware all the time of when our thoughts are not kind and friendly, and that might be more often than we think. So that's my reading for today. And I wanted to remind everyone that this weekend there are wonderful talks. There's a wonderful talk tomorrow by a guest teacher where the teachings during the month of Wesak, or Buddha's, we call it Buddha's Day, here because we celebrate it on one day, but it's actually the month of May is celebrated all over the world with events and wonderful talks and lots of things that are available to us now with Zoom and YouTube Live and Facebook Live. There's so many good things to tap into. But at Blue Lotus, we're having speakers from all over and on Zoom, but we're able to have people there present at the temple as well. So you can still make yourself available to those lovely talks. And it's a good time. One of the things that happens during this month of celebrating the Buddha's birth and his enlightenment and his death is to be very generous. And so people are giving away food and they're very generous during this month. Everything is about giving, and you can certainly see it's also a month of practicing loving kindness. So remember that as you go through the rest of the month. So let's do metta practice. And we might want to be especially concerned about India and the crisis, the COVID crisis there, and also the fighting between Israel and Palestine, and we need to send loving kindness to everyone involved in that, and just send those good wishes that hearts can change and that things can be that we can begin to develop a different way to deal with concerns between nations. Just keep being positive about it, and remembering too that this is samsara. So this whole world is samsara. So we're learning lessons from all of this. Some things we feel like will never change, but we can't lose hope. We can't lose doing what we can to help change things. But don't burn out. There are a lot of local issues that we have concerns about. The way we treat detained immigrants in this country, the way we treat the other in this country. And we have enough to keep us busy, so don't despair, but just understand the nature of this world is not to, that some things we aren't going to be able to solve. So do what you can, and then breathe. Keep breathing, keep being mindful. Come back to your own practice and your own breath. So let's sit and practice together. So let your body be relaxed, whether you're lying in bed because it's evening, whether it's whatever's going on. The only thing I ask you to do, if you're taking care of small children, that you probably need to keep your eyes open. But it might be a good opportunity for the kids to enjoy sitting with you, allowing their bodies just to become calm. They can be standing, they can be moving. Just be aware of the body breathing. And be grateful for that breath. That's life for us. The body's taking care of it. Let your attention be lightly on the breath. Just be aware of the inhale and the exhale. be grateful that we can breathe, that we can find a moment in our day to be calm, to be tranquil. Now develop those kind thoughts towards yourselves. Begin with that gratitude for being able to make the decision to sit with your breath, to work with your mind, to learn to find that center spot, that calmness. Just be grateful that we live in a world where we can do that we live in a country where we can do that we have a home, be aware of your good fortune for the simplest things in your life that so many others don't have at this moment. Now feel that kindness towards yourself, that friendliness. One thing the pandemic has probably taught so many of us, that relationship with ourselves is extremely important. We want it to be a loving, kind relationship. We want to be best friends with ourselves. When we see and understand that relationship, how important it is, then it's easy to want to send that quality of friendliness and kindness out to others. And just begin to radiate may all beings, including myself, my loved ones, all of my pets, all of my neighbors, all of my community, everyone in this country, everyone in every other country, sending out this quality of loving kindness, loving friendliness to all beings throughout the universe, human beings and non-human beings. Omitting none, making exceptions to no being, no human being, no creature, no unknown or unseen being. Letting go of hatred, may all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings living or being born Be free from hunger and thirst. Be free from fear and worry and anxiety. May all beings be able to take care of themselves and their families and their loved ones. And be able to care for the stranger. And may all beings learn to live in peace. May all beings be content and be at peace. And this begins with myself. Just come back to your breath now and just be with this beautiful breath. May peace be with you. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be filled with peace. So keep sitting if you can. Keep remembering that loving kindness is so important, and I think it couldn't be any more important than it is in today's world. So have a beautiful day and have a beautiful month of May, celebrating wonderful teachings and wonderful friends. Thank you. I'll see you on Sunday. Bhante Sujata is doing something on Zoom, I think, for his coffee, but I will go ahead because I'll be on Facebook, so not wanting to compete with him, just keeping to my regular schedule. Thank you so much. Hi, David.